What's going on, brothers and sisters, melanated gods of earth? I'm your host, Ramudisa the High King. If you're new to my channel, consider smashing the subscribe button, the like button, let the algorithm know what it is, let other like-minded souls know that we are here. If you have TikTok family, make sure you head on over there. Check out my page. If you like what you see, smash the follow button. I post over there as much as possible if I'm not on YouTube. Today though, brothers and sisters, I would like to have a conversation about what the fall of Europe must look like to a present-day white man who celebrates being a colonizer versus the rise of the African black man, black woman, and the African people. The continent is moving up. Everyone with half a brain can see it, none more than the white man himself. And the anxiety he displays is hilarious. One might argue that he knew that the end was coming. There was nothing he could do to stop it. And now that it's here, the only thing he can do is lament, like a sad, sorrowful post-colonial master. But let us proceed with today's video.
As Africa is modernizing, Europe is being Africanized.
Keep in mind, I've covered this video before in a previous video here on this channel. I just thought I'd bring it up for old time's sake. Let's start again and just listen very carefully.
As Africa is modernizing, Europe is being Africanized. And as EU officials have commenced expelling farmers from their lands, millions of migrant men are readying to strike like a flood. Since the Arab Spring, Germany alone has welcomed in 13 million men, women and children, but failed to find among them the workers needed to save its factories. And with the rising cost of energy, the impending collapse of German industry spells the final beat of European life, lest men of action resuscitate Europa and awaken her to a glorious future built on a glorious past. A new golden age awaits those who join the rebellion against progress, the revolt against the modern age.
Let's start that again and cover it very slowly now.
Africa is modernizing, Europe is being Africanized.
The white supremacist has always been afraid since the colonial days that the ascension of the African black man and woman was going to be his downfall. He knew. He's a parasite. He created a whole empire based on the assumption that the slave was going to be the slave and play that game with slave and master forever and ever. But of course that day has come when African people are saying we will no longer export our mineral resources, our minds, our bodies, nothing. From now on we're going to do our own people, establish our own industry, and there's nothing he can do to stop it. And he knows it. He can see it in his everyday life, the changing reality. On top of that, demographic crisis.
EU officials have commenced expelling farmers from their lands. Millions of migrant men are readying to strike like a flood.
Because Europe has spent more time practicing contraception and abortion and avoiding having children and enjoying what it means to be first world, right? Now that they're having an aging population and not enough young Europeans having white babies, the only thing they can do is import workers from black and brown countries. And they don't want workers from black and brown countries. What they want are white Europeans from Ukraine. So,
since the Arab Spring, Germany alone has welcomed in 13 million men, women and children, but failed to find among them the workers needed to save its factories.
Collapsing industry. Slowing down economies because there are not enough people entering the workforce who are German in birth, French in birth, Polish in birth, all of them. And so they're panicking. What can they do? Or watch their industries slow down. No more Volkswagen.
And with the rising cost of energy, the impending collapse of German industry.
Because they don't have resources, they don't have gas reserves, nothing. They relied on Russia. Now their high capacity to produce is no longer available. As Germans, probably as the French too. So as European countries in general, who knows?
Spells the final beat of European life, lest men of action resuscitate Europa and awaken her to a glorious future built on a glorious past.
Glorious past. What do you mean glorious past? Colonizing and enslaving, terrorizing, genociding. That's what he means by glory. And the future is done. Mother Nature has decided that you are not worth it.
A new golden age awaits those who join the rebellion against progress.
Mm-hmm.
The revolt against the modern age.
The revolt against the modern age. There is nothing you can do, dear European. This is it.
We Europeans discovered the world, and we awakened humanity to the gift of fire. But the European drive is far from over. Now we shall take responsibility for the runaway materialism that is consuming the earth. For we realize that the pursuit of material happiness alone is a mere distraction on the way to the fulfillment of our being, our apotheosis. And so we shall march on as hungry lions on empty stomachs, whose restless souls never once contemplated defeat. And if we listen carefully, we can hear the drum of the universe beating in our hearts. Let us become gods before we burn Valhalla.
Wow.
We
Become gods before... Dude.
Europeans discovered the world,
You colonized the world.
and we awakened humanity to the gift of fire.
You put humanity to sleep as you stole our resources and our knowledge. Made us think that we were nothing. Have no history. You buried it deep. You hoarded it for yourselves.
But the European drive
And we are the ones who brought you out of the caves, Neanderthals. You were eating raw meat, dying of plague in the Dark Ages, even as recently as the Dark Ages.
is far from over.
It's over. We are seeing it collapse because it was unsustainable.
Now we shall
Because ironically, how can you build an entire empire based on the assumption that you were never gonna have a day where the slaves revolt? That you were always gonna be on top forever and ever?
take responsibility
While you get sunburned? Come on.
for the runaway materialism that is consuming the earth.
Yep, that's their shit. They created that system.
For we realize that the pursuit of material happiness alone is a mere distraction on the way to the fulfillment of our being.
I mean, indigenous people have been saying this and telling them this for centuries. We've known this for thousands of years. Materialism is an illusion, but they didn't care. They were greedy. They were all about that material wealth. Man, they were greedy. They were all about the seven sins, if you believe in them. Sad Europeans.
Our apotheosis. And so we shall march on as hungry lions on empty stomachs,
Starving lions in his last days.
whose restless souls never once contemplated defeat. And if we listen carefully, we can hear the drum of the universe beating in our hearts. Let us become gods
That is the spirit and the voice of God and the voice of karma coming to collect. Retribution is here.
before we burn Valhalla.
Devils. You are devils. There are no becoming gods, only going gently into the night. Your demographics collapse with your low sperm counts into extinction. Bye.
And this brings me to a crucial point, namely that we white people, European type people, whether we be Germanic or Slavic or Celtic or Roman or Greek and, I don't know, Lappish, we have nothing left to do. We've come this far, we've put a man on the moon, if you believe that sort of thing. We've put countless of people on the Mount Everest. We've flown over the Atlantic Ocean in the most primitive contraptions. We've been spelunking into the deepest caves. We've visited the lowest points in our oceans. We've discovered life in places no human being had ever gone before. What are we going to do now? Are we just going to sit and wait as other more rancorous people who hold grudges want to come over to replace us and rub it in that they're in charge now? Is that it? Is that how we're going to end?
Yes, that's exactly how it's gonna end.
And this brings me to a crucial point, namely that we white people, European type people, whether we be Germanic or Slavic or Celtic or Roman or Greek and, I don't know, Lappish. We have nothing left to do.
And this is the sad reality that is dawning on them. One by one, slowly but surely, they are waking up to the sad truth and the realization that they are over. There is nothing more for them to do. When are they going to achieve landing on Mars or whatever else with their low demographics? By 2050, you're going to see the whole world look like South Africa. White minority in the extreme and black majority everywhere. Black is king, black is the future. We are the source of mankind, we are going to be the last, the next generation of what it means to be human. We are going to be the gods and goddesses who inherit the earth. And they are witnessing in the end.
We've come this far, we've put a man on the moon, if you believe that sort of thing. We've put countless of people on the Mount Everest. We've flown over the Atlantic Ocean in the most primitive contraptions. We've been spelunking into the deepest caves. We've visited the lowest points in our oceans.
They went to the bottom of the sea in a submarine. They visited the Titanic. They got crushed. They went to the ice. They're always going on expeditions that are useless in the grand scheme of things. Just white people, curiosity and adventure. Bottom of the caves, getting bats and infections no one would have come in contact with. Going out into the ice to dig up ancient viruses. That's just what they do. And we're supposed to celebrate that? No. I think Mother Nature will be better off without this. Humanity has known much chaos because of the Icarus types. Always, Blade would say, always ice skating uphill. That's what they do.
We've discovered life in places no human being had ever gone before.
Disturbed life in human places. They should have just let that life be in peace. And they wiped it out when they found it. The dodo bird, gone. Everywhere they went, genocide. On a grand scale, extinction of species.
What are we going to do now?
Go gently into the night.
Are we just going to sit and wait as other, more rancorous people who hold grudges?
We didn't ask to be colonized and genocided and enslaved. Now that they owe a debt, they will pay that. They will pay it. If they don't pay, we will reclaim.
Want to come over to replace us and rub it in that they're in charge now.
Black is king. Know thy authority and kneel. Recognize. Kiss the ring. The Finnish, the Germans, the British, other countries are coming through recognizing that they have no mineral resources. The best they can do is accept that we are in charge from now on. Power.
Is that it? Is that how we're going to end?
Yep. It's going to be a blackout. This woman nails it to the wall every time.
White people are scared to death right now, particularly white males. They're scared to death that they are going to lose their power in the future. And they are. But if you want to get ready for the future, if you want to be treated well in the future, treat others well in the present. Any white person who was born, raised, and schooled in the United States of America, if you aren't a racist, you're a miracle. Either that or you decided to educate yourself. Because education in this country is about white is right, brown's all right, black's got to stand back. Yellow's mellow, but whites, we educate in a way that says that white males have done all the adventures, have made all the adventures, have done all the discovering, have made all, everything that is good and
quite literally
has been accomplished according to social studies, which is actually anti-social studies, by white males. It's
quite literally everything the white man in the previous videos has been stating. Oh, white men have done this, we've done that. Oh, Europeans, is this the end? So they are panicking, they're afraid. And I don't know how old this video is, but she analyzed it way back when and she knew. And here we are, we're witnessing the anxiety unravel. The mental state of a post-colonial white supremacist.
a lie. But we do that. Good and has been accomplished according to social studies, which is actually anti-social studies, by white males. It's a lie. But we do that in order to maintain the myth of white superiority. The myth of race has to be maintained at all costs in this country. Because if white people have to give up the color of their skin as being something that makes them perfect, what do they have left?
Oh, what do they have left indeed? Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comments below. This is a glorious time to be alive as African people. We are seeing ourselves rise and ascend. Our people are developing ourselves. Our resources shall bless our descendants. And the colonizers who have made themselves fiends, relying on the idea that they were going to be the oppressors forever and ever. Here we are, retribution. The age of reclamation is here, and we're here for it. Let me know in the comments below, like I said, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do that thing. Let other like-minded souls know that we out here. Share, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay royal. Peace.